you always own the option of having no opinion. Marcus Aurelius once said that, and it's a line worth sitting with for a moment. Think about how many times your anger, frustration, or sadness have come from things beyond your control. A careless remark, a situation that didn't unfold your way, or a moment when life simply felt unfair. We react, we explode, we shut down, and yet, from the Stoic point of view, none of these things truly have the power to disturb us unless we hand them that power ourselves. Anger, among all emotions, is one of the most corrosive. It doesn't just wound others, it burns you from within. It poisons your peace, clouds your clarity, and weakens your ability to think with reason. It makes you a slave to what happens outside of you, something Stoicism trains us to resist at all costs. Because to the Stoics, real strength is never about controlling others, it's about mastering yourself. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In those words lies an entire philosophy. No matter what someone says or does, no matter what storms life throws your way, your peace remains your own. Anger and frustration might rise for a moment, but you have the power to decide what stays in your mind and what drifts away like passing clouds. So today, I'm sharing 8 Stoic principles that have helped me and countless others escape the endless cycle of anger. And no, this won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Stay with me till the end, because each rule builds upon the last. And when we're done, you'll hold a complete roadmap to unshakable peace. And if any of this resonates with you, drop this in the comments. My peace is stronger than any anger. I read every single one, and I'd love to hear from you. Rule 1. Separate what happened from what you think it means, Seneca once wrote. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. The same is true of anger. What upsets you is rarely the event itself. It's the story you attach to it. Think about it. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Instantly, you might think, how dare they disrespect me? They put me in danger. People are so selfish. But what if you changed the story? Maybe they're rushing to the hospital. Maybe they didn't even see you. Or maybe, yes, they're careless. But why should their carelessness steal your peace? The Stoics believed that no event is inherently good or bad. It's our judgment that gives it meaning. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. That's powerful. It means that every time you feel anger rising, you can pause and ask yourself, am I upset because of what happened, or because of the meaning I gave it? That single question can redirect the entire course of your day. Here are a few practical ways to apply this rule: pause before reacting. When something irritates you, force yourself to take 3 slow breaths before speaking or acting. Those few seconds return your control to you. Reframe the situation. Instead of thinking, this is unfair to me, try, what if this isn't even about me? Detach from the story. Remind yourself, the event is neutral. Your judgment is optional. When you start separating what happened from what you think it means, You gain the power to choose peace over anger. You stop letting other people's behavior control your emotions, and you begin living as the master of your own inner world. Because anger never punishes the person who wronged you, it punishes you. It steals your calm, your clarity, your joy. Why give away your mind so easily? Imagine yourself as a great tree standing firm in a storm. The winds howl, the rains fall, but you remain rooted and unmoved. The storm passes, and your strength remains. Your affirmation, no one controls my peace but me. Asterisk Rule 2. Expect people to be flawed. Marcus Aurelius began his meditations each morning with a quiet reminder: the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they do not know good from evil. Now, why would the most powerful man on earth, the Emperor of Rome, start his day by reflecting on the flaws of others? Because he understood something we often forget. If you expect perfection from people, you prepare yourself for constant disappointment and endless anger. The truth is simple but uncomfortable. People lie. People betray. People act selfishly, speak carelessly, and sometimes even cruelly. And if you walk through life expecting otherwise, every flaw will shock you, every injustice will sting, and every slight will disturb your peace. But when you begin to expect imperfection, the world stops surprising you. You stop reacting with rage and start responding with understanding. Think of how we treat a child who makes a mistake. You don't scream in disbelief. You guide, correct, and stay calm. But with adults, we forget this wisdom. We assume everyone should know better, and when they don't, we burn with anger. Stoicism flips that script. When you expect flaws, they lose their power to upset you. Seneca reminds us how much better to heal than to seek revenge from injury. Vengeance wastes time and places us on the same level as those who wrong us. What he meant was simple. When people act from ignorance, arrogance, or malice, it is not your duty to descend into their chaos. Your duty is to remain whole. Here's how you can live this principle every single day. Morning preparation. Before stepping out into the world, remind yourself, I will meet people today who are rude, selfish, or unfair, but none of that can rob me of my peace. By doing this, you shield your mind before it ever meets the storm. See ignorance, not evil. When someone insults or disrespects you, remember Marcus's words. They are like this because they do not know good from evil. Their behavior comes from blindness, not wisdom. Why be angry at someone who simply doesn't see clearly? Lower the weight of expectations. If you expect people never to disappoint you, you're living in fantasy. But if you accept imperfection as part of human nature, nothing will shock you anymore. A broken promise, a harsh tone, or a selfish act becomes a reminder of what people are: human, fallible, learning. Strength and compassion. Once you see flaws as universal, you can respond with compassion instead of rage. This doesn't mean excusing wrong behavior. It means refusing to let it poison your peace. You can correct, walk away, or set boundaries, but you do it calmly, without bitterness, without losing yourself, Picture yourself walking through a busy marketplace. People bump into you, some cut in line, others shout too loudly. Would you rage at every single one? Of course not. You understand that this is simply how crowds are. Life is the same. When you stop expecting perfection, you stop being endlessly upset. Peace is not found in changing others, but in changing your expectations of them. You cannot control human nature, but you can control how you prepare for it. And preparation is everything. So next time someone lies, insults, or disappoints you, instead of boiling with rage, whisper to yourself, "I saw this coming. I expected this. Their flaw is not my storm." Because people will continue to be flawed until your final day. And if you wait for a perfect world, you will live your whole life in misery. But if you accept human imperfection, you will never again be surprised. And when you're not surprised, you remain calm. This calmness doesn't make you weak. It makes you unshakable. Because true strength is not measured by how loudly you shout when wronged, but by how quietly you endure without being broken. Marcus Aurelius freed himself from anger by expecting flaws, and you can too. Your affirmation: "I expect flaws, but I choose peace." Rule 3. Master the voice in your head. Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." It is one of the deepest truths of Stoicism, and one of the hardest to live. That voice in your head, the one that comments, judges, blames, and interprets, is the true architect of your peace or your misery. It's not the insult itself that wounds you, but the way your mind repeats it. It's not the challenge that breaks you, but the story you tell yourself about it. This isn't fair. This always happens to me. Why can't people treat me better? The Stoics understood that we rarely suffer because of the world itself. We suffer because of the way we talk to ourselves about the world. And if you want to reach a place where no one and nothing can easily make you angry, you must first learn to discipline that inner voice. Don't think about this. If a stranger on the street mutters something offensive in a language you don't understand, do you get angry? Of course not, because the words never enter your inner dialogue. But if the same insult comes in your own tongue, suddenly the mind grabs hold of it, replays it, dissects it, amplifies it, and you suffer. So, it's not the words that hurt you. It's your mind's attachment to them. The Stoics offered 3 powerful ways to train this inner voice, to make it your ally, not your enemy. Catch the first thought. When anger starts to rise, it usually begins with a thought: "They disrespected me," or "This is unbearable." The moment that thought appears, catch it. Don't let it grow into a full story. Say to yourself, "This is just my judgment, not the truth." By catching the spark early, you prevent the fire from spreading. Replace, don't repeat. The more you repeat a thought like "I can't believe they did this to me," the deeper the anger digs in. Instead, replace it with a Stoic truth: "They act according to their nature, not mine," or "I control how I respond, and that is my power." By offering your mind a wiser line, you end the loop of rage before it grows roots. Talk like a guide, not an enemy. Many people are crueler to themselves than anyone else could ever be. Their inner voice blames, exaggerates, and punishes. But what if you spoke to yourself the way a wise teacher would? Ask, will this anger help me? Or would it serve me better to let go? Treat your mind like a student in need of direction, not an enemy to be beaten down, Seneca warned. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality, and imagination speaks through inner dialogue. If you don't train it, it betrays you, but once mastered, it becomes your most faithful ally. Here's a practical way to start mastering it. Each evening, reflect on your day. Ask yourself, where did my inner dialogue betray me today? Did I add unnecessary drama to what happened? Did I build mountains out of moments? Then reframe those stories. Rewrite them with calm, with truth. Train your mind to speak differently tomorrow. You can also do what Marcus Aurelius did, write. He didn't write his meditations for the world. He wrote them for himself, to remind his own mind of reason, of virtue, of calm. You can do the same. When anger lingers, write it down. Then ask, what judgment did I add that made this worse? Replace it with a clearer, kinder truth, because the mind is like a stage. If you let angry scripts play endlessly, they will dominate the show. But if you rewrite the dialogue with reason and stillness, anger has no scene left to perform on. So next time you feel anger building, pause and ask, what exactly am I saying to myself right now? You'll see it's not the person, not the situation, not the world. It's the voice inside fueling the fire, and the moment you notice that clearly, the flames begin to die. When you take command of your inner dialogue, you take command of your peace. Nothing outside can disturb you unless your own mind agrees to it. That's why Epictetus declared, "You may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus himself has the power to break my freedom of choice." Freedom begins within, in the voice you choose to listen to. So let it be the voice of wisdom, not of wrath. Let it be calm, disciplined, and firm. Because once you master the conversation inside your head, the noise of the world can no longer master you. Rule 4. Hit the pause button. Viktor Frankl, though not a Stoic, yet deeply aligned with their wisdom, once wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." That single insight holds the key to freeing yourself from the rule of anger, because anger thrives on immediacy. An insult is thrown and you snap back. A delay happens and you explode. A betrayal surfaces and you rush into fury. But if you can create even the smallest gap between what happens and how you respond, you steal anger's greatest weapon, its speed. The Stoics were masters of this discipline. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That power begins in the moment you choose not to react instantly. Imagine this: someone insults you in front of others. Your instinct screams to defend yourself, to attack back, to shut down or prove your worth. But what if, in that moment, you simply paused for 3 deep, conscious breaths? In those breaths, you remind yourself, their words cannot harm me unless I allow them to enter. And suddenly, Instead of being dragged into the mud, you rise above it, or imagine sitting in traffic. Already late, the cars crawling, the noise rising, the irritation tightening in your chest. Normally, you might slam the horn, mutter curses, or let that small delay sour your entire day. But what if, instead, you take one long breath and whisper, "This is outside my control, but my peace is not." Instantly, what could have become chaos becomes calm. The power of the pause is not weakness, it is mastery. It proves that you are not a slave to impulse, but a commander of your own inner world. Here are ways to cultivate this sacred pause in daily life. Train your breath. Make it a rule. Whenever anger rises, take 3 slow, steady breaths before doing or saying anything. Your breath becomes your anchor, your way back to yourself. Use mental cues. Create a short phrase to recall in heated moments. Something like "This is just noise," or "I will not hand them my peace." These brief reminders form a bridge between emotion and reason. Delay your response. When possible, wait before replying to that message, email, or confrontation. Give it an hour, or even a day. You'll notice how quickly the urgency fades when you step away. Practice small pauses. Don't wait for a crisis to build this habit. Practice pausing in tiny frustrations, when you spill something, when someone interrupts you, when plans change suddenly. Each small pause strengthens your discipline for greater storms. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." Why? Because anger is like fire. It needs instant fuel to grow. If you withhold that fuel, even for a few seconds, the flames begin to fade. Remember, the world expects you to react. They expect you to shout when insulted, slam the door when hurt, or lash out when betrayed. But when you remain calm instead, when you pause, it unsettles them. It shows that you cannot be controlled. That is true power. Creating space between what happens and how you respond is not about avoiding conflict. It's about preserving dignity. It's saying to yourself, "I am not an animal driven by reflex. I am a human being guided by reason, by discipline, by choice. And in that choice lives your freedom. So the next time life tests you, don't rush to silence the anger instantly. Instead, ask, can I pause long enough to let wisdom speak before emotion takes over? That single pause might save your peace, your relationships, and even your health. Because anger demands urgency, but wisdom requires patience. And every pause you create becomes a victory, a quiet declaration that you, not your emotions, are in command. Asterisk. Rule 5. Don't take their stuff personally, in the words of Epictetus. When someone provokes you, know that it is your own opinion which provokes you. Therefore, try first not to be carried away by the impression. For if you gain time and delay, you will more easily control yourself. Most of the pain we feel doesn't come from what others do, it comes from what we make of it. The insulted self doesn't wound. It's the meaning we attach to it that cuts deep. Someone ignores you, criticizes you, mocks you, and instantly, your mind starts weaving stories. They don't respect me. I'm not good enough. they're trying to humiliate me. But in truth, most people are too busy wrestling with their own chaos to actually target you. Their anger, their rudeness, their bitterness, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their own inner turmoil. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. Because when someone is cruel, that cruelty reveals who they are, not who you are. Don't take their pain home with you. Don't let their storm enter your calm. When you take things personally, you are letting other people live rent-free inside your mind. Imagine it like this. A stranger hands you a bag filled with anger, gossip, and negativity. You don't have to accept it. You can simply look at it and say, "No, thank you." The bag remains theirs, not yours. But when you take their words personally, you pick up that bag, carry it with you, and soon you're the one feeling heavy and bitter. You've accepted something that was never meant to be yours. So, what can you do? Recognize the projection. When someone lashes out, remember, people project what's inside them. The angry person spreads anger. The jealous one spreads doubt. Don't make the reflection your identity. Ask yourself, is this really about me? 90% of the time, it isn't. Maybe they're tired, stressed, or hurting in ways you can't see. Remind yourself that what feels personal rarely is. Refuse to internalize their behavior. You can acknowledge someone's behavior without absorbing it. You can say, "That was unkind," without saying, "I must deserve that." You can witness someone's chaos and still remain composed. Return to self-ownership. When you take something personally, you're handing over control of your emotions to others. But when you let it pass through you, unabsorbed, you reclaim your power. No one can disturb your peace without your permission. Epictetus compared this to walking through a city full of noise. If someone shouts insults at you and you simply keep walking, the insult loses its force. It echoes into nothing. But if you stop, turn around, and argue, you've already lost your calm and given them what they wanted. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop allowing others to dictate how you feel about yourself. It's emotional armor, light, invisible, and strong. When someone insults you, they are speaking from their own perception, their limited understanding of reality. Their words do not define you. They define them. You cannot control how others act, but you can always control how much power you give to their actions. The Stoics called this invulnerability of the mind, a state where insults, criticism, and chaos no longer pierce you because you've learned to see beyond them. So the next time someone tries to drag you into their drama, remember this simple truth. What they throw at you only hurts if you pick it up. When you stop taking things personally, you stop suffering twice, once from their action and again from your reaction. And that's how you finally become free. Asterisk once when they speak and again, when you keep repeating it in your mind. But what if you simply stopped repeating it? What if, instead of replaying their insult, you recognized, this is their noise, not my truth? Here's how you can begin practicing this in your daily life. Redefine insults. Instead of saying, "They hurt me," change the meaning. say, they revealed themselves. Their words do not expose your identity. They expose their own, their bitterness, ignorance, or lack of self-control. When you reframe an insult, you reclaim your power. Practice indifference. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. When insults come, you can decide not to pick them up. An insult only survives if you give it shelter in your mind. Detach your worth from opinions. Imagine holding a flawless diamond. If someone calls it worthless, does it lose its value? Of course not. Your worth, too, is intrinsic, untouched by what others say. Their opinions are simply sounds passing through the air, nothing more. Respond with silence. Silence is one of the purest expressions of strength. When you refuse to respond, you prove that the insult has not touched you. Your calm unsettles those who expected a reaction, but more importantly, it protects your peace. Let's be honest, words can sting. When someone mocks you, spreads lies, or tries to humiliate you, your first impulse is to fight back. But pause and remember. Their words reveal their character, not yours. And if you carry their poison, you let them win twice. Once when they speak, and again when they steal your calm. Imagine someone handing you a burning coal. If you grab it, you get burned. But if you let it fall, it cannot touch you. Insults are burning coals, harmless unless you choose to hold them. Marcus Aurelius offered timeless advice when another blames you or hates you, or when people speak ill of you, go to their souls, penetrate within, and see what sort of people they are. You will realize there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they should hold any particular opinion about you. This is profound. Instead of asking, why did they insult me? Ask, what kind of soul must they have to insult another? The moment you see their weakness, your anger dissolves. So the next time someone throws words meant to wound you, stand tall in silence. Say to yourself, this is not mine to carry. Walk away with dignity and let their insult return to where it came from, their own unsettled heart. Because, here's the truth, the moment you stop taking insults personally, you become untouchable. People may shout, mock, or criticize, but their words cannot chain you unless you agree to wear the chains. The wise do not waste their energy fighting shadows. They keep walking forward, calm and unmoved. Asterisk, Rule 6. Drop it like it's hot, Seneca once said. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. Most people don't just get angry, they stay angry. They replay the moment again and again. They nurse the grudge. They water the seed of bitterness until it grows roots, deep into their heart. But the Stoics saw this for what it is, self-inflicted torture. The event happened once, yet by clinging to it, you suffer it 1,000 times more. If you truly wish to free yourself from anger, you must master the art of letting go. Not tomorrow, not later, but now, before it poisons your peace. Think of anger like carrying a burning coal. The longer you hold it, the deeper it burns. And yet, we convince ourselves that holding it hurts the other person. when in truth, it only scorches us. Marcus Aurelius offered a simple reminder: the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. When you hold on to anger, you mirror the one who hurt you. But when you release it, you rise above them. You reclaim your dignity and protect your peace. So how do we practice letting go quickly? 1. Name the weight. Admit to yourself, I am carrying anger. We often disguise it as righteousness or justice, but honesty with yourself is liberation. Once you name it, you can decide to set it down. Point 2. Refuse the second wound. The first wound is what others do to you. The second wound is what you do to yourself by holding on to it. Ask, why should I keep suffering for something that has already passed? Drop the second wound before it multiplies. 3. Shift focus to action. If something can be fixed, fix it. If not, accept it and move on. Anger is wasted energy. Transform it into purposeful action. That's how pain becomes strength. 4. Practice mental release. Visualize your anger as a heavy stone in your hand. Now open your palm and let it fall. This simple image helps your mind release what your heart grips too tightly. Seneca warned. Anger, if not dismissed, is like poison. The longer it stays, the deeper it spreads, clouding thoughts, poisoning relationships, and stealing peace. Letting go quickly is not weakness, it's wisdom. Imagine this: you argue with someone and harsh words are exchanged. That night, they sleep soundly while you lie awake replaying every word, every line you wish you'd said. Who suffers more? Not them, you. Holding on to anger is choosing to suffer for someone else's behavior. But what if you said to yourself, it's done. It's over. I will not relive it. Instantly, the burden lifts. You breathe again. You return to the present, where peace lives. Life is too short for anger. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. If this were your last day, would you spend it replaying an insult or releasing it? Letting go quickly is freedom. It means no one else controls your peace. They may wound you once, but you will not let them wound you again through your own mind. So the next time anger rises, ask yourself, do I want to hold this burning coal, or will I drop it now? The quicker you let go, the lighter your soul becomes. Rule 7. Turn problems into teachers. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. One of the greatest Stoic truths: obstacles are not enemies to peace. They are teachers of it. Every insult, every frustration, every setback is not a curse. It's a lesson. Most of us see difficulties as personal attacks. Someone disrespects us, we feel wounded. Something blocks our plans, we feel cheated. But life owes us no smooth path. The road, with all its bumps and barriers, is what builds our strength. Why does anger rise? Because something didn't go the way we wanted. But if instead of saying, why me, you ask, what is this teaching me? The anger loses its grip. The problem becomes practice. The obstacle becomes training. Seneca taught, Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor strengthens the body. Muscles grow only through resistance. Character grows only through challenge. If you never faced disrespect, how would you learn patience? If no one ever opposed you, how would you develop resilience? If life never disappointed you, how would you discover acceptance? To apply this, practice 3 mental shifts. 1. Ask the training question. When anger rises, don't ask, why me? Ask, what skill is life teaching me right now? Patience, detachment, humility. This reframes frustration into training. 2. Flip the value of setbacks. Instead of saying, this ruins everything, say, this is part of my training. Treat every obstacle as a weight in the gym of life. Without resistance, there is no growth. 3. Honor the lesson, not the hurt. Even in pain, seek the teaching, not the wound. An insult teaches endurance. A delay teaches patience. A betrayal teaches discernment. Let's make this real. Imagine someone betrays your trust. You could drown in rage, or step back and ask, what is this showing me about human nature, about resilience, about myself? The lesson becomes your shield, preventing anger from consuming you. Or picture losing an opportunity you worked for. Most would fall into bitterness. The Stoic response: this is my training in acceptance. It's strengthening me for something greater. The obstacle doesn't break you, it builds you. Marcus Aurelius lived this daily. He faced war, betrayal, and plague, yet he never cursed fate. He wrote instead, the obstacle on the path becomes the path. He used every hardship as a stepping stone for his soul. When you start seeing setbacks as teachers, anger loses its place. Instead of why me, you feel I am ready. Instead of bitterness, you feel wisdom. Because life will never stop throwing challenges your way, but you can train yourself to meet them with strength, not rage. So when anger rises, ask, what lesson is hidden here for me? Remind yourself, the obstacle is not my enemy, it is my teacher. And when you truly live this, nothing is wasted. Every insult becomes instruction. Every setback becomes strength. Every trial becomes training. You no longer resent life, you rise with it. Drop this affirmation in your heart. Every obstacle is my teacher, not my enemy. Rule 8. Stay right here, right now, Seneca said. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This is one of the deepest Stoic insights. Most of our frustration doesn't come from what's happening, but from what we think about what's happening. We dwell on what was said yesterday. We fear what might happen tomorrow. We replay, reimagine, and relive long after the moment has passed. And that is where anger grows, in the soil of the mind's imagination. The Stoics taught that all your power lies in the present. You cannot change the past. You cannot control the future. But you can always govern this moment, your thoughts, your breath. Your response, anchoring yourself in the present, is like dropping an anchor into a stormy sea. It keeps you from being swept away. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, confine yourself to the present. Focus only on what stands before you. The rest is noise. Here's how to live this truth. Notice when your mind wanders. Anger often arises when you drift into past hurts or imagined futures. The first step is awareness. I'm replaying what happened. That awareness is your first anchor. Return to your senses. Feel your breath. Feel your feet on the ground. See, hear, touch, and breathe this moment. The present is always calm. It doesn't insult, betray, or frustrate. Ask, what can I do now? Action dissolves anger. Instead of feeding the fire with thought, channel it through calm, focused doing. Release the should-haves. Anger often hides behind expectation. They should have known better. This shouldn't have happened. But the Stoics remind us, reality is not here to please us. Accept what is, and peace follows. Practice daily presence. Spend a few minutes each day in mindful stillness, watching your thoughts come and go like waves. This strengthens your ability to return to the now whenever anger tries to drag you away. When you live fully in the present, slights and irritations lose their grip. A rude comment becomes just a sound. A delay becomes just time passing. Everything loses its emotional weight when you refuse to label it. Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well." Anchoring in the present means exactly that, accepting reality as it is. Anger thrives in the shadows of the past and future. Peace thrives in the light of the now taught. So when anger stirs, ask yourself, am I upset by what is, or by what I imagine? Return to the real. Return to now, and watch your anger dissolve before it even begins. Drop this affirmation in your heart. I live in the present, and peace is my anchor. The final reflection throughout this journey, we've walked the Stoic path to freedom, from separating events from judgments, to expecting human flaws, mastering your dialogue, creating space, letting go, and anchoring in the now. The Stoics teach us one enduring truth: the world cannot harm you unless you give it permission. Every insult, frustration, and setback is neutral until your mind defines it. When you take responsibility for your perceptions, expectations, and responses, you step out of the storm of emotion and into the calm of reason. Remember, anger is a thief. It steals clarity, joy, and wisdom. But when you live by these Stoic practices, you become untouchable. You no longer hand your peace to anyone or anything. You respond with calm. You see obstacles as teachers. You let go quickly. You stay present, and above all, you choose what to believe, what to feel, and how to act. The greatest freedom is not the absence of challenge. It is mastery over your inner world. Life will always test you, but no storm is strong enough to shake a mind rooted in discipline, reason, and calm. Start now. Apply these truths daily. Practice them in the smallest moments, and slowly, anger will lose its hold. Your life will grow quieter, your mind sharper, your soul stronger. I am untouchable, calm, and at peace. And remember, the world may never change for you, but once you change, your whole world will